Hi everyone, today we're going to add 3-digit numbers. We are going to use this chart on school carnival rides to answer some questions. So we're going to see on the left, we see the type of rides at the carnival, and on the right, we see tickets sold. So let's just read through that quickly. We first noticed that the Twister ride sold 298 tickets, Monster Mix sold 229 tickets, Crazy Coaster sold 193 tickets, Mega Wheel sold 295 tickets, and Bumper Cars sold 301 tickets, making it the most popular ride at the school carnival. So we're going to just look at some questions and use these 3-digit numbers to help us answer them. The total tickets sold for which 2 rides was 495. So when I'm looking at that, I have to figure out which 2 would equal 494. So you might have to do a couple problems to figure that out. I can look at the first 2, Twister and Monster Mix, and tell you I know it's not going to be those 2 because 200 plus 200 is 400 plus that 98 would be 498, and I didn't even add the 29. So it's not that one. I know that whatever I add has to have a 4 in the ones place. So if I were to look at 193 plus 301, I know 3 plus 1 would equal 4. So let me try that. I'm going to think of all the things we've been working on. It says show your work, so I'm going to try the Crazy Coaster, 193 plus 301 tickets for the Bumper Cars, because I think that might work, just because I was looking for 2 digits that would equal 4 in the ones place. So if I start with my ones place, 3 plus 1 is 4, make sure everything's lined up, move over to my tens, 9 plus 0 is 9, and then go to my hundreds, 1 plus 3 is 4. It does equal 494. So now it says the total tickets for which 2 rides was 494. That would be the Crazy Coaster and Bumper Cars. Be sure you're answering the question. The question isn't this work, it's which 2 rides was 494, the total tickets sold. Right, let's skip down to number 4. Number 4 says about how many tickets were sold for Twister, Monster Mix, and Mega Wheel all together. Well, I guess I could use estimating since it says about. I will look at Twister was 298. And all together tells me I'm going to add. So then I'll go to Monster Mix, which was 229. And then it says Mega Wheel, which is 295. I think what I'll do is add these first. And I could do rounding. And I could say 300 plus 200, because I know 298 would round to 300 because there's a 9 in the tens place, and 229 would round to 200 because there's a 2 in the tens place. So it's going to be about 500 just for those 2, but I haven't added Mega Wheel yet. I'm going to just check my work. I'm going to start in the ones place. 9 plus 8, I always like to start with the larger one, would be 17. I think I'll do new groups below. Then go to my tens place. 9 plus 2 plus 1 would be 9, 10, 11, 12. And add my new group below. Now I'm in my hundreds. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So that's approximately 500, 527. But now I need to add the Mega Wheel, which was 295. So I'm going to add 295, lining it up, which would round to about 300. So if I round that to 300, because the 9 in the tens place, 5 and above, give it a shove, I would get about 800. Let's check my work and see. Start in the ones place. 7 plus 5 would be 12. Put the 2. Make your new group below or above. 9 plus 1 plus 2 is 9, 10, 11, 12. Put the 2. New group. Now in the hundreds place, 5, 6, 7 plus 1 is 8. So about 800 approximately is right, because I got 822. So you could say about 800 tickets were sold for 3 of those rides. All right, we're going to look at one more problem. This time, we're going to look at this chart. This is student collections. On the left, you'll see type of collection. On the right is the number of objects. So whoever this student is, they have 403 rocks, 371 stamps, 198 shells, 562 buttons, and 245 miniature cars. Quite a collector this student is. I'm going to do number 8 with you. Are the combined collections of shells and buttons greater than or less than the combined collections of rocks and stamps? So I have some key words here. You're probably going to have to read more than once. Combined is telling me to add. I also see the words and. So first, this is not a one-step problem. This is definitely 2 steps or more. Are the combined collections of shells and buttons? I have to start there. So I'm going to go back up to my chart, look for shells. That's 198. And buttons. Now buttons is 562. Make sure you're lining up your digits in the correct place value. Now I'm going to start in the ones place. 8 plus 2 is 10. Put a 0. I'm going to do new group above. Now go to my tens. 9 plus 1 is 10. Plus 6 is 16. New group above. Look in my hundreds. 5 plus 1 is 7. So I have 760 just for shells and buttons. But now I have to compare that to rocks and stamps, because I want to know if that's greater than or less than the shells and buttons. So rocks and stamps, go back to your chart. Rocks is 403 and stamps is 371. Again, being very careful to line up my digits. This time I think I will do show all totals. I'm going to start with my hundreds. 400 plus 300 would be 700. 0 tens plus 7 tens, which would be 70. And then 3 plus 1 would be 4. Again, lining them up correctly. 0 plus 0 plus 4 is 4. 0 plus 7 is 7. And 7 plus nothing is 7. So I got 774. Now I'm comparing these two sums. Are the combined collections of shells and buttons, that's 760, is that greater than or less than the combined collections of rocks and stamps? 760 is less than 774. So I would say less than as my answer. Okay, so today you are going to practice solving math problems using addition. You will need to choose one of the methods, whether it's new groups above, new groups below, or show all totals. Use scratch paper because you are going to be looking at the problems on Think Central today. Once you log into Think Central, click on Lesson 4.10. Complete the math and then make sure you submit it. And then I'll get to see how you did. And if you wanted to do any of this work, it's in your workbook on page 235 and 236. Hopefully you were able to follow along with me in your math workbook.